I'm excited to be joining you today. Again, I'm Josh Mueller from Austin, Texas, and today what we're going to talk about with our power tip video is how to prepare your team properly. How to prepare your team in a way where they're ready to go out and have success during the mall display season. So there's a few things I think are really important that your team just needs to know from you as the leader of this program in your division. Number one thing that you need to work with them on is just making sure that if they don't work with promo product consistently throughout the year, that you take the time up front before the event starts to actually teach them what promo product is, how to work with promo product, the best, like what are the do's and don'ts with promo product. You know, if your team, if you've done what most divisions have done, which is eliminate promo product from your program, what we forget about sometimes is that there's a lot of things that you should and should not be doing with it. So make sure that you're taking the time to set your team down before the mall display starts, to actually go over with them the do's and don'ts of promo product and how to inventory what they, things like don't use the product to display, or don't let customers cut with it, or don't do promo product on payments, just different things like that. You want to make sure they're in the loop so that you don't have a bunch of headaches to deal with after the mall displays are over, right around the new year. The other thing that you want to do is have a meeting with your team and take the time to get the team together and have them actually talk about their goals and what they're working on and what they want to do for the malls, so that everybody's really aware of what everyone else is planning on doing for the division and what their goals are. Even if you're just a one-man show and you're only doing one mall, but you've got one or two other people who are going to be working with you in the season, you want to make sure that you guys all get together to talk about what your mission is for the malls and get the vision out there, so that everybody, when they're out in the trenches actually doing the work, is able to really tie in and remember what they're working on. The third thing you want to do is work on standards. Really identify for your team what your standards are and what your expectations of them are. Things like showing up on time. You know, if you don't show up on time to the mall and you consistently open late or you consistently close early, that can lead to fines. That can lead to you not getting back into that mall. And if you're not working that mall because you have multiple malls in your division that are having displays in them, well, then what ends up happening is you end up in a position where next time it makes you look bad as a coordinator, it makes Cutco look bad as a coordinator. And a lot of times it's simply just due to the fact that your team doesn't really know what your standards and expectations are. And then the last thing is drill for skill. What we do in our division is we're always drilling our team for skill. You want to make sure that people know their approaches, that they have their approaches down, and that you're actually holding them accountable to getting them down. What's really great is that when you get your team together and you actually have them role play in front of each other the approaches, what you'll notice is that your best people very typically are the ones who have the approaches down the most as well. And then as a coordinator, as a leader, you can actually showcase that in front of your team. So say Rep A gets up, they're your number one rep, they do their approaches and they do a great job, and they just happen to be your number one sales rep too. You can then recognize that in front of your team and let your team know, hey, if you're not getting the results that you want, it's because your approaches are not as good as they should be. So get them down like Rep A does. And Rep B may be the crappiest rep on your team, getting the worst results. And it's probably because they don't have their approaches down as well as they could. So get them working on their approaches together. Do drill for skill exercises, whether it's on conference calls or in a meeting, and that'll help your team be successful.